let's take a look at what IRCTC is doing in today's trading session. Remember that our company has come out with its numbers. The stock is trading higher by about 1% or so as we speak. But we will be joined by the management of IRCTC in a short while from now. Remember that the PAT saw an uptick on a sequential basis as well as on a year-on-year basis. If you look at the revenue as well, it saw good growth if you compare it on a year-on-year basis. On a year-on-year basis, if you look at the revenue, they've come in at around 965 crore rupees. Let's bring on board Rajni Hasija, who's the Chairman and Managing Director at IRCTC, to talk more on the earnings. A very good morning to you, Ms. Hasija. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. And let me directly dive into your quarterly numbers. If you could tell us what exactly contributed to your revenue as well as your PAT growth in the quarter gone by. As I can see the numbers as well, you've registered a one-time gain of nearly 26 crore rupees. If you would help us to understand on basis of what did you get this one-time gain, as well as talk about your revenue and PAT in the quarter gone by.
Well, we have done very well in this year. Not only the overall full year, but in the last quarter also, quarter over quarter also, we have shown a recorded growth. If you ask me the numbers, the revenue in this year has been to the tune of 3,540 crores, and which is all-time high in the history of IRCTC, whereas we had given a revenue of 1878 crores in the previous year of the correspondence. And as far as the PAT is concerned, we have a 52.5% jump as compared to the previous year. And in all the business segments, be it catering, rail near, internet ticketing, and tourism, we have done exceedingly well and given a special growth in the case of tourism. So quarter over quarter compared to the previous quarter and year over year also, the growth has been seen.
Absolutely, Ms. Hasija. But Q4, if you look at the ticketing volumes, if you look at it on a year-on-year basis, or even for the matter of fact, if you compare it sequentially, it's actually been flat. If you tell us what contributed to that sort of a flat numbers coming in for ticketing volume. Also, how do you see internet ticketing revenues and daily average volumes shaping up going ahead?
The daily average volume of the ticketing in the last year, it has been nearly 11.82 lakh tickets in a day. And if you are asking about the last quarter, nearly 10 CR tickets have been booked in the last quarter. So we see, as of now, we are booking nearly 82% of the total inventory available through online. Rest is being booked offline. So our revenue from ticketing is not only from the convenience fee resources from the ticketing, but accessory work related to the ticketing, that is, we call them non-convenience fee resources, which is nearly 33% of the total internet revenue. For example, our total revenue from the ticketing has been 66% is from the convenience fee and 33% is from the non-convenience fee. 802 CR this year we have received through convenience fee, that is pure ticketing resources, and rest 397 we have received through non-convenience fee resources, which includes various accessory services and ancillary services that we provide through our portal using the services of ticketing.
Okay, hi, very good morning, Mrs. Hasija. This is Trishti joining in. Since you were talking about your convenience fee, so any plans to increase the convenience fee going ahead?
As of now, we don't think of, but IRCTC board is empowered to take decision on the convenience fee. So board, so far we don't foresee any plans because the margins are already very high. So we don't intend to.
Okay, but if we talk about your margins, then there has been a decline in your margins, and that seems to be continuing in this quarter as well, on the back of higher contribution of the catering, which is a low margin segment in comparison with the internet ticketing. So will the margin mix change going ahead, and where do you see the margins headed?
This margin, if you recall correctly, the margin, this same kind of a margin used to be pre-COVID levels. In fact, we have achieved the pre-COVID levels, where the catering was contributing nearly 45% of the total revenue. Now it is 41% of the total revenue. So this margin, to my understanding, is going to continue. At this, we are going to settle here, but the absolute figures are going to be on a higher side. So the overall figures in the absolute number is going to be the same, but this revenue mix, of course, has changed. It was about to change when the normalcy was to be achieved. That is what has actually has happened.
Right, Ms. Hasija, let me dwell some more into that point of catering segment then, because the contribution of catering segment to your top line has definitely increased when you see on a year-on-year basis. Now the contribution is approximately 41% or so. Apart from that, even the contribution of packaged drinking water and tourism segments have also increased in your overall sales. If you could tell us how do you foresee these segments performing going ahead, that is your packaged water, drinking water segment, tourism segment, or even catering segment for the matter of fact?
Our rail needs segment has performed very well. There we have achieved a good profit of nearly, it has contributed to nearly 3% in the total profit margins. And of course, major chunk has been from the internet ticketing segment. And in the tourism also, the contribution has been immense, and we have done better than many years in the case of a tourism because of the very good growth in the domestic tourism and initiatives taken by Government of India in terms of a Bharat Gaurav policy under banner Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. There we have taken few rakes on a lease basis from Indian Railways, and now we have a dedicated fleet to operate in the tourism circuits, unlike the previous days when, based on the intent, we used to take rake on demand basis. Now we have these rakes available with us, and we are going to operate many trains, rather 3 times more the trains the way we were operating in the previous years. So our the in the tourism segment, the main reason has been this, and we did well in all the segments. In the train operations, in the Tejas segments, we did well, and we had received total turnover of 150 CR in the 10 operation Tejas segment, where the profit registered was 25 CR. So it has been a very good margin that we have received, unlike the previous year where it was losing. And through our election special also, we have got some good margins. And state Tirath business, if you can see that, yes, there has been a considerable growth in the state Tirath business also because of the services and efforts taken by company. My team, the team has in the tourism has done very well.
All right, let's talk about Tejas then. What sort of a capacity occupancy are you looking at right now, and what's your outlook also for that particular wagon, that's Tejas?
Tejas, we have two Tejas in operation. One is the Lucknow Tejas and another is the Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad Tejas has received around 81% of the occupancy, and the Lucknow Tejas has received around 68% of the occupancy levels. So both trains are now started doing well, except for the few lean days. And we have.
Okay, Mrs. Hasija, we'll let you go on that. Thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now and helping with the growth outlook for IRCTC going ahead. So that was the management of IRCTC sounding bullish, and you can see that onto the stock price as well. In a weak market as well, the stock is holding itself in a green, with just merely 0.5% gain over there.